Welcome to Wild Breakaway. Alongside Ben Clymer, I'm Audra Martin. The Calgary Flames came to St. Paul tonight on a 4-game losing streak, while the Minnesota Wild had a lot of momentum going in their favor following up a winning road trip. Unfortunately, tonight, the Minnesota Wild just could not get past Chad Johnson. He had a perfect game, picked up the shutout, 1-0 win. This was a game that's going to sting because on paper, it's a game that the Minnesota Wild should have been able to grab 2 points from.
Yeah, playing a Calgary Flames team that's been struggling recently, but also struggling in so many different statistical departments. You figured if the Minnesota Wild started hard, they could really blow the doors out this one. Well, in fact, they did start hard. Johnson stood tall, negated a couple of those opportunities. At that point, Calgary was able to get their wits, to calm things a little bit. Then they drew a penalty, and, well, we talked about the high-end players that they have. Those high-end players scored wonderfully on a broken play.
Well, unfortunately, this means it was the first time the Wild were shut out on home ice this season. Here's a look at final stats for the night. Dead even on shots on goal, but again, it was Chad Johnson picking up the perfect night. 1 for 6 on the power play for the Calgary Flames tonight. Can't give them that many opportunities, and unfortunately, the Wild 0 for 2 on both of their advantages. Now, after the game, head coach Bruce Boudreau was asked if it would have made a difference if they would have jumped out ahead early in this one. Here's what he had to say.
If we score on the breakaway and then they come down and then there's no chance for them to score on the breakaway, it might be a different game. They might hang their head, but the longer the game went 1-0, the more they dug in because they hadn't been successful and hadn't been successful defensively. So they really dug in, and their goalie made some big saves when he had to.
Here's a look at what's next for the Wild. They have a mandatory day off tomorrow, but then they get back to work Thursday night as the Boston Bruins come into town. A team we faced not too long ago, and the Minnesota Wild played a great game against them, shutting them out in front of their home fans. So you'd hope that that would add a little extra motivation, a little momentum for the Wild to grab 2 points that night.
And it will be a simple game. It will be a game that is very much in the Wild's favor in terms of it's not going to be a game that's wide open like Johnny Gaudreau trying to open the game up. This is going to be a little bit more of a chess match with the puck being chipped, some physical play, then a grind, then it's either going to go to the net or break out and go the other direction. And this is a team that the Minnesota Wild had success, again, winning 5-0 against a team at that point that was struggling with their goaltending position. Malcolm Subban started, McIntyre finished, Tuukka Rask got a shutout tonight against the Colorado Avalanche, assuming he plays. Well, that's obviously an upgrade from those two other goalies, but it's still a goalie rebounding from injury issues. Can they press that? That would be something I'd try early in the game, just like they had those opportunities, but you have to complete your effort. And the Minnesota Wild did a lot of good things on first effort. Those second and third efforts that Zach Parise alluded to is what they need to focus on against the Boston Bruins.
Well, tonight was the beginning of a stretch where the Wild played 5 of their next 6 games on home ice. Came up short tonight, but they have a chance to get 2 big points Thursday night against the Boston Bruins. We look forward to seeing you there. 6:30 is when we get the action started with the pregame show on Fox Sports North. We look forward to seeing you then. In the meantime, for Ben Clymer, I'm Audra Martin. Thanks for joining us on Wild Breakaway.